This is Rachel, and today I'm going to show you how I make cheeseburger soup. So to start with, I have about a pound of ground beef that I have used the saute feature on my Instant Pot, it's right here, to brown. My meat was actually frozen this morning, so to quickly get it thawed, I put it in the pot with about a cup of water for about 12 minutes. Once it was finished, I just opened up the lid after I released it and put it on saute and broke it up. So that's a quick way if you have frozen meat and you want it to be nice and browned before you put all your other ingredients in. That's a great way to start. If you'll notice, all the sludge is on the bottom of the pot. I leave that because I hear it's good for flavor. So I will do that. I did drain the meat and prepared that. So make sure you drain the water out. And here's some other ingredients that we're going to add. We're going to put chopped potatoes. Now my recipe calls for the potatoes to be peeled, but I don't personally want to peel my potatoes, so I don't. Carrots, I just cut up a few carrots. I'm going to throw those in there. We've got parsley. We'll put about a tablespoon of parsley in there. I'm going to generously put garlic powder in there. You could put minced garlic or whatever in there for garlic. Basil, I'll do about probably 2 teaspoons. And so I'm all about easy. I buy my onions and then either buy them pre-chopped or I will chop them and then I'll put them in small baggies to use later for soup and just keep it frozen. So this is just some frozen chopped onion that I had ready. I'm going to just toss it in there. Now some people like theirs already cooked in there, so I would say if you like it translucent or whatever, you could saute it with the ground beef. I don't personally care. If you don't have fresh onion, another option that I like to use is just the onion flakes. A lot of times when I make soups or casseroles, I just sprinkle generously onion flakes. And once you add the water and the broth, it just works well. The last thing I'll do is I will use chicken base to make my chicken stock. So what I'll do is let's just do it. I'm gonna use my sink. I'm not really worried about exact measurements, so we're gonna just fill this till I can see water. Because I don't want it to be really, really soupy. Later I'm gonna add milk to this. So I don't want to fill up the pot too high. I basically just want enough that when we boil these potatoes down, there's like water right up to the line of food. So, and I'm going to add these things and I'll be back. So we've got the rest of those ingredients added and I'm going to just give it a quick stir. See that chicken base? I like that to kind of get down in there so that when it starts boiling, it'll dissolve into the liquid. So I'm just going to press that down in. Sorry, I'm all wiggly here. Okay. I see a little bit on my spoon there. There we go. Next, what I'll do is, hear that noise? My lid always... I'm going to just make sure my lid's on straight and I'm going to twist it closed. So this lines up where it's locked. Then my valve, I don't want it to be on venting. I want it to be closed. This is venting, closed. So push it back. When I start my Instant Pot, what I'll watch for is to see that this weight pops up. That's when it'll start cooking. Now, what I've noticed, this little troubleshooting tip that I have for you, is sometimes I'll hear the steam escaping, and this little weight won't necessarily pop up, but it seems like it looks like it wants to. Because I've used my Instant Pot for about every day for a year, I'm pretty sure that my seal is getting close to needing to be replaced. So if you have that problem, just give it a little shake, like, I don't know, I just take my hand and I press on it and wiggle it, and it usually just pops right up. So let's see. What we'll do is we're going to put this on manual for I would say 15 minutes. So I like my potatoes to be nice and cooked. Now here's another little tip I have. I found this on Pinterest. It's One Good Thing by Jilly.com, and it's cooking times that she's collected, and it's a free printable that she has on her website. And I'd like to use this because whatever's in my pot that has the most cooking time typically is what time I'll use. So right here we've got potatoes. It'll probably be ready in 12 minutes, but with this kind of soup, I don't mind if my potatoes are a little bit soft. And then the carrots, they'll take about the same time. But this is a really nice chart. So we'll be back to add the rest of our ingredients. So for those of you who are still learning your Instant Pot or pressure cooker, I just wanted to point out and show you that the weight right here has now popped up. The vent is closed, the weight's popped up, and now my time is going to start counting down. It took about 15 minutes before this came to pressure, so if you're wondering how long it's going to take to cook the soup, I would estimate about 30 minutes because we've got the 15 cooking time and about 15 minutes to get up to pressure. One tip that I have for you is if you want it to get up to pressure faster is that you want your pot to be hot. So many times when I'm preparing food, I'll put it on saute so that everything that goes in my pot gets warm, including water or broth or whatever liquid you're using. That saute is going to get things hot, and then it's going to come up to pressure faster. Okay, so looks like 10 minutes ago this finished cooking, and if you are in a hurry, you could do a quick release, which just means that you open up the vent. Mine is probably almost finished coming down with pressure. See how the weight is still up? That means there's still pressure in there. So I'm going to open it, and I kind of turned it where it doesn't steam out at the cabinetry. So once this finishes, we'll add our last few ingredients. Looks like the steam is almost completely gone. I'm just waiting for the weight to drop. There it is. So I can open my pot. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to just give this a quick stir since that chicken base wasn't necessarily distributed. Ooh, a little steam there. Okay, so the last few ingredients that I will add is, my recipe calls for cream cheese, but I use this just with less fat. I like this. Some sour cream, milk, salt, pepper, and we will stir that in and we will be finished. I took my cheese. Now, my recipe calls for Velveeta. I don't particularly like to buy Velveeta. Nothing against it, but it's just not something I keep stocked in my kitchen. So I substitute cream cheese. Another thing you could substitute is you could put just like shredded cheddar in there. And it's not a big deal which kind of cheese you use, just something to make it creamy. Okay, so I've added my cheese, sour cream, milk, salt, pepper. Let's stir this in. With the cream cheese substitute, it does come out kind of chunky. I don't mind. I think it tastes good that way. But if you like a smoother consistency, you're probably going to want to stick to something like Velveeta to get like a really smooth, cheesy flavor. Yummy! This is so good. The salt, I just do the salt to taste. Different people like it at different levels of saltiness. So that's my cheesy, it's cheeseburger soup. That's what it's called. Let me show you my, look at that. Yummy. It does kind of taste like cheeseburger too. And that's it. I'm going to link the recipe under the video. Thanks a lot.